Star Wars 7x7 episode 2335. Well, another Mando Mondays has come and gone. And now that's 4 of them, or at least 4 of them post-Mandalorian episodes. And let's talk about what we are or aren't learning as a result of them. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So this past, oh gosh, now I can't even keep track of the days. Was it 2 Saturdays ago where I talked about the fact that I actually got a computer off into the shop and had it serviced and it was gone for a week, and yet still managed to have episodes of the show go out and whatnot. But as a result of that whole process, I did not cover a couple of the Mando Monday events. And if you need the refresher, what happens is after every episode of The Mandalorian debuts on Disney Plus on a Friday, the following Monday there is a new release of merchandise related to the episode. Well, sometimes related to the episode and sometimes not. Like they're releasing a bunch of stuff here and there. Like they gave out information about vintage collection figures for Grief Karga and the Child, for example, which is not necessarily specific to the episode The Siege that just came out this past Friday, but it's still a new product reveal, right? So some of the new products that they debut are ones that tie into the episode that had just aired on the previous Friday, and some of them are just, let's share some new Mandalorian products. Let's really, run this for all it's worth. And that's right down to the blue macaroons. Yeah, William Sonoma, right? So the little blue cookies that the Child yoinks from one of his classmates on Navarro. Yeah, they actually are selling those too, as surprising as it may seem. So one of the things that I've said pretty consistently on the show is that as far as toys and merch and that sort of thing, really the interest in talking about these things on Star Wars 7x7 is to do with what we learn about the characters, about the vehicles, and how it actually reflects on the storytelling situations. So far, everything that's been released is backward looking in the sense that it only reflects on stuff that has happened, not necessarily on stuff that is going to happen. And so they've been very careful about that. For example, even with the releases for the Mando Mondays that just happened yesterday, some of the stuff isn't even just from the previous episode, it's also from episodes back. So they introduced a Lego set, Trouble on Tatooine, that features the giant sort of crossbowy looking thing that they use to attack the Krayt Dragon, and the speeder that the Mando borrows with the Child in his little side pouch, right? So that's in there too. It comes with a little Tusken Raider character. So yeah, it's definitely backward looking. Even down to a Mandalorian Super Commando Funko Pop that, I was actually very pleased and honored to be a guest on the Holochronicles podcast. I've been on their show before. You've heard Andy and Josh on this show before. And in fact, there will be, something from them in our discussion on Star Wars 7x7 later this week too. But we were talking about it, and somebody in the chat window for their live broadcast when I was on with them flagged that this Mandalorian Super Commando that we were thinking, oh, maybe, this could be forward-looking. I was thinking it could be forward-looking. Turns out it was really a Season 7 Clone Wars sort of thing. So yeah, Lucasfilm is being very careful about making sure that whatever they're sharing with stuff is very backward looking. They're not necessarily revealing anything new to us. I think probably the one slip that they had was in seeing Moff Gideon's giant ship, right? Like, it's not quite a Star Destroyer, but it's almost very much like the Clone Wars era cruisers, the battle cruisers, right? So that was actually previewed on a Topps Star Wars Card Trader digital card a couple of days before the Mandalorian Season 2 Chapter 4 episode The Siege came out. And that was, again, just one of those rare little blips where something came out before it actually showed up in the series. There are a couple of things, though, that have been previewed in a way from a product perspective that are not coming out for a while. So for example, the art of Star Wars The Mandalorian is actually coming out next month, so that's a shorter term situation, and that has been revealed in previous stuff. Now they revealed that there is going to be an ultimate visual guide that's written by Pablo Hidalgo and put out by DK Publishing, but according to Amazon, that's not actually coming out until July of 2021, even though they just announced it as part of this past Mando Monday. But there's another reason why the search for information about The Mandalorian, and I mean the search for publicly available information, not for rumors, leaks, spoilers kind of stuff, even though, yes, some people do make that public, right? But what I mean is the officially released information. Why it becomes just that little bit more interesting, intriguing, and desirable to find, and I'll share that with you in just a second. I do just want to give a quick shout out again to the folks at Feeding America, feedingamerica.org, as a means of finding a local food bank, a local food pantry nearby you. You can search by zip code on there, and this is a wonderful time of year here in the United States where people get to be with their loved ones for Thanksgiving, but not everybody has full food security in this day and age, and just in general, but especially with what's going on with the pandemic these days. And so if you have the ability to do so, to share a little bit of what you have in your own life with people who are less fortunate right now and who are facing some pretty dire circumstances in some cases, please consider checking out feedingamerica.org and support your local food bank or food pantry. So regarding the notion of looking at other sources of information potentially about what's going to happen in the rest of the season for The Mandalorian is the fact that we've pretty much seen everything there is to see already. Like the stuff that was in the trailer for season 2 of The Mandalorian and the little commercials that we've had in here and there, pretty much everything that was in that footage has been shown to us with these first 4 episodes of the season. So now we are completely in uncharted waters as far as this season goes. And so the notion of looking at the Mandalorian Monday releases to see what other clues to the goings-on for the rest of the season they might have to offer, well, yeah, it becomes a little bit more compelling as a result of the fact that we are, now completely through. I think pretty much completely through. Like maybe there are little flashes here and there, but for all intents and purposes, we are completely through everything that we've seen so far. And that, of course, we will talk about in due time as well. But as far as Mando Mondays go, no, they are pretty much being very disciplined about what they release and making sure that there are no surprises and no spoiling of whatever is to come. So there you go. That's our quick look at the last 3 Mando Mondays for all intents and purposes, actually. And that is going to do it for today's episode of the show as well. Thank you so much for joining me for it, as always. And it just remains for me to say, may the Force be with you, wherever in the world you may be.
Star Wars 7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2020 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.